of the Midwest Cannabis Podcast. Today, I am joined by Anita and Stephanie of the Trinity. They are out of Peoria, Illinois. How are you guys doing today? Welcome on to the podcast.
Doing great.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We're excited to be here.
Definitely.
Absolutely. So, tell me a little bit about Trinity. Tell me about your operation. I know you guys have two separate locations here in Illinois, correct?
Right. We started in 2015 with just the medical store. And then when Recreational came around in 2000, we opened up our second location so that we could accommodate the rec users.
Okay. And how was the transition from the medical market into like the recreational market? Was that a hard transition or was it like fairly like natural?
I would say natural. It basically is the same products. It's just a matter of whether the patients or the customers pay those high taxes. So we like to get as many people converted from recreational over to medical that we can to help them save money.
Gotcha. And is that difficult? Is it difficult to sign people up for the medical market or?
Well, that's actually Stephanie's position to get them signed up on the program. But as far as qualifying, as long as they have a qualifying diagnosis, they can use their own physician or they can use one of our cannabis-friendly physicians to get their medical card. I always prefer they try their regular physician so that he knows or he or she knows that they are cannabis patients so that they can watch for improvements in their health.
I see. And kind of piggybacking off of that question, how hard was it to go from one location to two locations? Because I know it's not just about doubling everything. Like a lot of things have to be expanded. Infrastructure has to be expanded. Was that a challenge to go from just the one brick and mortar to two?
Well, it kind of was because they had to do a lot of remodel at the first location in order to accommodate it while the owners remodeled this present location for recreational. So there were times where we had lines out the door, no extra office space to be had. It's just busy all the time. But I think once we got the second store open, then the flow became much more natural and people don't wait near as long for their product.
Gotcha. And do you guys plan on opening any locations coming up here soon? Are you going to stick with the two for a while, or what's your plan for expansion with that?
Well, our parent company, Nature's Grace and Wellness, do have several stores in Northern Illinois that are planning to open as well as in Missouri. So they've got quite a bit on their plate, but we are still Trinity Care Centers. And so we're not all that involved with the opening of the other stores, obviously, since none are right here in Peoria. But it's exciting for them that they're going to really be expanding.
For sure. And with the date, there's about to be, I think, 200 new dispensaries opening or something like that in 2023. I know you guys have probably been keeping up with that. Is that predicted to kind of like shake up the market a lot? Or is it going to change price levels a lot? Where do you guys see that changing kind of the Illinois market?
Well, I do see it affecting pricing because there's going to be more competition. We haven't had a whole lot of competition on this side of the river up until now. So we're definitely going to be sending or losing customers to some of these newer dispensaries. I think my biggest disappointment, I know of two going into Peoria, and so far I've heard the locations are all within a 5-mile radius. And with the size of Peoria, I didn't quite understand why we couldn't get them to locate the new ones a little bit further out or in an area that people would travel to easier. But, we are right in the heart of the city. Right here by the malls and everything. And that does bring a lot of traffic this direction.
I see. And I'm up in Chicago, so I know it's a little bit different up here than it is in Peoria. Is the culture in Peoria pretty accepting of cannabis in the stores and stuff like that? Is there a lot of rejection, or would you say it's getting to a point where people are accepting it?
Well, we have like Chicago, we have little other suburbs, right? And so West Peoria is all about it. I mean, they would love to have a dispensary, they would love to have consumption clubs, but the city of Peoria, they're a little bit more conservative. So when we talk about consumption clubs or potential delivery, they're not on board. So we've got some work to do to really open up their minds. And Stephanie and I have been to some of the council meetings, and she's got a great story that she gets up and tells and tries to open them up to the fact that it really is medical and it really does change people's lives and help them out.
And we teach at the local college as well. We're very fortunate in that we were able to develop curriculum due to the social equity grant that Trinity donated to the local college. And so we've actually been teaching cannabis for consumers and cannabis for healthcare professionals, in addition to cannabis dispensary agent operations courses that prepare the public to work in the industry. And they actually get a certificate for that one.
I mean, that's really cool because people need training. I mean, I go to dispensaries all the time, and you could tell that some people just need a certain level of training. And then also when people want to be able to like run a dispensary, because that's a whole different thing than just working in a retail space, the overall management. I think that's cool that you guys are able to like educate other people on how to do it as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. And yes, unwinding the stigma, as you say, one person at a time. We actually, we work at farmer markets, local farmer markets. We're there to provide education and outreach to the community. Anita actually offers free cannabis RN services. And then I do the state portion for free. We offer those services and encourage patients along the way, just as a support system.
Oh wow! And how did you two get into the cannabis space? Were you in the cannabis space before somewhere else outside of Illinois, or was it when Illinois legalization happened?
My history is I was a cancer patient at the age of 10, and so I was introduced to cannabis in high school, and I used it off and on throughout my life. But after getting my third cancer, I decided to kind of study cannabis. I already knew about the human body by being a nurse. So I started studying cannabis. I wanted to know if I was helping myself or hurting myself. And what I found out really opened my eyes to cannabis, the medicinal aspects of it. So I continued my studies. And then when we opened up our medical dispensary, they got word of how educated I was and asked me to come in and gave me the position as a nurse consult. So I give free 1-hour consultations, whether in person or on the phone, to help people get started in cannabis. The last thing I want is for anybody to try cannabis, have a bad experience, and then get turned off and never come back to it. So that's what I do. And then Stephanie can tell you how she got involved.
Mine's a little dramatic. I worked at the local hospital. I was a clinical researcher in interventional radiology for about 14 years. And then suddenly I was shot in a drive-by shooting in my home and lost my eye. I had to have my eye removed. So the bullet entered my eye and exited my nose. And so I got cannabis for my PTSD. I'd been using as a closet user most of my life, since being a teenager. I was using cannabis as medicine, only I didn't know it, as most of us are. And once I discovered the endocannabinoid system, that really changed the game for me, because that was not part of my medical curriculum or training whatsoever. And I mean, cannabis has saved my life. My faith and cannabis, those two together in the community. My PTSD was very acute. We don't know who shot me or why. And so PTSD has really just, cannabis, has really helped me with symptoms of that, to the point that I rarely even have symptoms, and that I like to share my story and help others. I do have prosthetic eyes that have the Trinity logo, the Nature's Grace logo, and I think I'm wearing the sunflower today.
Okay, that's cool. Absolutely. I mean, that's making the best of the situation. That's cool that you have that. And talking about consumption, what are you guys' favorite ways of consuming? Like personally, what's your
Flower.
favorite?
We're flower girls.
Flower girls. You like rolling up?
Well, it's, I was a 2-hit wonder my whole life. I just needed 2 little hits in the evening, change around your attitude, get a good night's sleep. But now that I know the medicinal aspects, I actually take oil in the morning. I do flour throughout the day when it's available. And then I'll still do some of the edibles, just for that long acting or long lasting effects. So it really varies. But my favorite absolute product is topicals. I use them for everything. And I think they're a great introductory product for a lot of, I don't want to say elderly per se, but somebody who's hesitant to use cannabis products.
Absolutely. I agree. And being in the cannabis space, and both of you have been in it for a while, what are some of those hardships that you've had to face being in the cannabis space? What would you, if somebody was getting into the cannabis space, would you warn them about anything that's kind of surprising maybe as you get into it?
I think education is still very important, even for the salespeople, because just to say that you like a product or this one works for you doesn't really apply with this product because everybody has such a different response from it. So it is nice that they have a little bit more education background than just sales or just usage, so that when a customer, they can kind of try to focus on some of their issues and then steer them into different products that are available. So
I think for me, what surprised me is, you can have a background in marketing, whether it be medical background as we have, and that will always apply in the cannabis industry. We need all kinds of people in the industry, like she's saying, not just bud tenders, but there are lots of opportunities available where maybe that job prepared you ahead of time for a job in the cannabis space. You definitely want the education, a working knowledge of cannabinoids, the endocannabinoid system, terpenes, definitely education. I see people just light up with that knowledge, and it empowers them then to make and advocate for themselves and make better decisions about using products, maybe opening their mind to trying a different method of cannabis that they had never really thought about.
Absolutely, yeah. And Stephanie, when you're bringing up how people get into the market, I tell that to a lot of people. A lot of people want to get into the cannabis space, and when things were first being legalized, I feel like the only mindset was I can be a bud tender or I can work in the retail space. But as kind of like the corporate structure grows of the cannabis space, there's so many different positions and skill sets that are opening up within the cannabis space for people to be able to fill and find a way to still be able to exist in it.
I agree with you. And I feel like I'm doing something I love. I always had to hide this before. And so now it just empowers other people, and we love what we do.
Absolutely. And back to the class teaching, if somebody out there, somebody watching this wanted to learn about your class or wanted to take your class and stuff, where can they get information about this? Where can they learn about it?
They could just go to the Illinois Central College website and look up the adult classes to find it. I don't think we have any scheduled yet. We'll probably restart them in the spring. So it'll be a little bit. And then we also have offered video classes too for those that can't travel, just for a one-time class. But the one-on-one classes that we teach to the consumers and professionals, we try to explain the program, how they can qualify and get into the program, as well as utilize the medicine effectively.
Yeah, and I'm sure you guys are busy. Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm sorry. I was just going to interject that we also have, during COVID, We taped some videos that are available on our website. I mean, we were wearing masks because it was at the height of COVID and we wanted to protect each other. But we were just trying to provide, resources, teaching tools. And we really love having that interaction. But sometimes the Zoom classes are more convenient for healthcare professionals or anyone, actually.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I know you guys are probably extremely busy within the cannabis space, especially on holidays. But what do you guys like to do outside of the cannabis space when you're not busy trying to help patients? What do you guys enjoy doing?
Oh, wow. You name it. I'm very active. Once you've had cancer, you can't get enough of life, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a crafter and a gardener and a traveler and a fisherman, and I mean, I'll just do anything and everything.
That's great.
I agree. After having a near-death experience, it's like, you definitely want to live in the present. I practice a lot of mindfulness, and I'm a writer, so I'm actually writing a book about my experience and how I have overcome this. That way I can pass that on to other people.
Absolutely. And I'd like to ask that question just to show that people that exist in the cannabis space, even consumers, users, non-consumers that just work in it, so multifaceted, doing so many things. Like cannabis is kind of just like a accessory, if you will, onto life. It's not something that like defines what somebody does every single day or anything like that.
Indeed. There's not anywhere I won't talk about it. I'm talking church, the grocery store, there's not anywhere that I'm not talking about it.
For sure. And do you guys go to a lot of live events? It's starting to ramp up here in Illinois, but obviously there's some all around the U.S. Do you guys go to conferences or conventions or anything like that?
Actually, it's pretty difficult with our work schedules and the ICC teaching to get out of town to go to any. But we try to attend or even have booths at anyone that are in the immediate area.
We're usually hosting them.
Yeah.
We did go to Chicago, though, the CBD
Yeah, we
conference.
went to the CBD conference, and those bigger conferences are always so neat and stuff. But, when you don't purchase for the dispensary, it was just a learning tool for us to see what kind of products are coming down the pipe.
Right. Yeah, they're definitely most helpful for certain people in the industry. And outside of that, it's just like it's cool to see what all is going on and what the different organizations, the different products, and all the different people that are starting to join the industry as well.
Yeah, we definitely want to stay current, because with information changing, we're getting new information, more research coming out. We definitely want to stay current. For sure.
And here in Illinois, like we were talking about earlier, things are changing so much coming up here in the new year. And then after the holiday season, is that a big deal within the cannabis space? Is there an uptick in people coming to dispensaries and stuff, would you say?
Yeah.
Or is it kind of consistent?
Absolutely. There's been a steady stream for the last 2 days with the snowstorm coming. So I think everybody is getting their stock purchased before it hits. So I don't know how the dispensaries up in Chicago are, but we have had just a steady stream for the last 2 days.
Yeah, we've been helping out up front.
Oh, wow. Okay. And because up until this point, like you guys were saying earlier, there haven't been a ton of dispensaries in Peoria up until now, right? I haven't been down there.
We actually have just R2, the Trinity stores.
Oh, okay.
And then New Med is located in East Peoria. So we're really the only ones in Peoria until these next two get opened up.
Gotcha. And I know you guys might not be in the advertising space as much, but I don't know all that much about how advertising goes in Illinois and stuff like that. Are you guys able to advertise? Are you able to kind of get your name out there well, or is it?
I think the marketing department runs into walls all the time when you're talking Facebook and some of the social media. It's very difficult. It is very difficult. We've done billboards before. And of course, like she said, we do the farmers market, things like that, just to get our name out there. But it's difficult because of the stigma behind cannabis yet.
I've noticed an increase in radio.
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More of advertisements for cannabis-friendly doctors. Those kind of advertisements.
That's cool. That's cool. We need that. We need to find all the different avenues possible to get the word out for sure. And as 2023 rolls around, is there anything you guys are excited about? I like to ask, are you guys looking forward to anything coming up, anything within your company or anything within the kind of cannabis industry as a whole?
Oh, I think there's plenty to be excited about with all the new craft growers and things like that. We'll see a lot of their new products in the recreational. Unfortunately, we can't get their products into medical, but
Why is that?
still, we do give a discount here at our location for medical patients, just because some products are not available at medical, and vice versa. But the products that are coming out, I hope that with the new research bill that President Biden just signed, that we see all kinds of new products with different cannabinoids that we haven't seen much of yet. Because it's going to make a difference.
Why can't craft growers sell to the medical side? I didn't know about that.
So from what we were told, if their craft grower's license is for recreation, then they can only sell to recreational license holders.
Right.
Oh, wow.
So
unless they have the license to sell or dispense to a medical, I believe there is a difference. Of course, we're not the ones to ask those questions.
Oh no, I understand. I hadn't heard that before. That doesn't really make sense, but I guess
there's something they're working on. I know with our menu, they're taking the medical and recreational and making it one menu. So there's something going on behind the scenes that we're not quite aware of, because that would cause a roar between medical patients. We're both medical patients, right? So yeah, I would think that that's going to be worked out. But in the beginning, it was a very curious thing, because what are the craft growers, are they licensed to dispense to medical only, recreational only? How does that work?
And why does it necessarily need to be different?
Right.
If they're like operating under the same regulations in terms, not necessarily amount of grows, but in terms of quality of product, stuff like that. Well, I don't see exactly what the exact reasoning would be for that, but
we want it to be available to everyone, not just
exactly
a certain group here.
Exactly. And that messes up the pricing level because the medical patient doesn't get that advantage of that price decrease, and it's still medicine. So I'm gonna have to do some research on that. I appreciate you letting me know about that.
We'll let you take care of that and let us know the deal on that, because again, that would cause problems, I would think. And we definitely want to build the medical program. We want to keep the medical program alive.
Oh, gosh. Yes.
And how do you see that happening as recreational grows and price levels change and stuff like that? How do you see the ability to keep the medical program strong, even with the recreational program being as open as it is?
I think once consumers try it on the recreational side and then find out that they do have a qualifying diagnosis, the cost of getting your card has come down significantly. So the tax savings to them is going to make it worth their while. Yeah, you might miss out on a couple of products, but nobody says you can't go shop recreational just because you're a medical patient.
Right.
But most of them are going to find something in the medical dispensary and not pay those high taxes.
Another thing I've seen is actual growers. They get tired of their own stuff, and they want their own. They have their card so they can grow. So they'll come into the dispensary, just to have
something different.
Yeah, or between harvests or whatever we're working with here.
Absolutely. Well, Stephanie, Anita, I appreciate you coming on to this episode. This was enjoyable. I for sure learned some interesting stuff, and I appreciate y'all's stories because y'all have some inspiring stories for people out there looking to get into the cannabis space, looking for reasons why cannabis is okay, and looking for trusted voices to look to in the cannabis space.
Thank you. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, we do.
That means a lot.
Absolutely.
It's definitely affected our lives. And so the more people we can share our stories with, share the education, share the medicine with. I just want everybody to have a little bit better quality of life, considering all the things going on in the world right now.
Absolutely.
We're under a lot of stress, and we're exposed to a lot of, COVID and flus and colds. And I just believe that people are healthier on this product, to the point where, better quality of life. I'm not sure where else we get that quality of life right now. So
I completely agree. And with the mental health aspect too, and helping people be able to ease their minds with all the stuff that's happening right now.
Yeah,
indeed.
We get a lot of them coming in. What do I need? What do I take for stress?
Yeah.
I'm like, the same thing you do for pain, the same thing you do for, but we'll teach you how to use it for sure.
Absolutely. Well, Stephanie, Anita, everybody in the chat, I hope you guys have a great holiday. Holidays are coming up this weekend. I hope you stay warm. You're in Illinois with me. I know about to get a pretty big winter storm. So you guys stay safe and warm as well.
Thank you.
We hope that for you too. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody have a great evening. It's been another episode of the Midwest Cannabis Podcast. I'll see you guys later.
Merry Christmas.
Take care. Merry Christmas.